All right, we're recording. State your name.
Blue.
That's it, just Blue.
Yeah. Well, what more do you want?
Well, so people know who you are.
Blue Winters. How about that?
Yeah, because everyone's just gonna know you from back in the hood as Blue Winters. Yep.
No, I'm known as Blue Robinson.
There you go. You want to say what high school you went to?
I don't think high school matters as much, but I went to Civic Park Elementary School.
All right. And why do you want to make this video?
Because I think people should really know what Flint's like. Should know the truth about how the kids go through things, how they suffer, how they go without, and the fact that we, as a society, to paraphrase Thomas Crane, we first create criminals and then punish them.
So when you say the real Flint, other than the water problem, the murder rate, decline of the neighborhoods and businesses and all that, you're talking about the spirit of Flint, the people of Flint?
I think that
what's going on right now and all this mess?
I think the real Flint is the heart of the people. It's not a water crisis. It's not the fact that they're poor, that we're poor. It's the fact that they've lost everything and yet they still have hope. And that's the truth. It's not about ghettos and blight. It's not about water crises and government problems. There are people in Flint and they still love it. They love each other and they care for each other. And that as a society is something to honor, not something to be afraid of. Yes, murder happens, but murder happens everywhere. Things can happen. You can get hit by a bus tomorrow, whether or not you get shot or run over. Things happen in life. It's just a matter of living your life. What?
Trying to come up with questions. We're gonna heavily edit this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're part of the Civic Park Pride.
Yep, Civic
so you
Park
can talk
Pride.
about your school and what happened with that.
I grew up on the north side of Flint. I grew up in what I would consider the worst area of Flint, although some people want to fight that idea. I went to school with kids that were foster kids, kids that had no homes to go to when they got off school. I watched them have the only meals that they got a day at school, and then I watched them cancel the breakfast program, so they only got one meal a day. And it's not so easy for kids to learn with an empty stomach. So that was just their first way of keeping the kids down, keeping them from achieving things. Because without knowledge, there is no power. So they take the power of the people by taking away their knowledge. They shut down the school. It's now been ransacked and all the piping has been taken out of it because why not, for scrap metal. The fence around it has been stolen and sold. But you know what? People have to make a living. And sometimes you have to do criminal things to do that. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying that there is a reason for it. And as a government, we punish people for the things that we make them do. Because believe me, if there were jobs, Flint people are the kind of people that would be in line for those jobs. But when you take all of them away, and you take all of the opportunities away, what's left?
Right. So they built the factories and all that there. Everyone came in 55.
Yeah, they built the factories. The factories were supposed to be the way of the future. We were all going to graduate, and then we were going to work in these factories and make buku bucks every year and have a great family, and everything was going to work out. But so much for that American dream.
Right, so once the factories left, the government pretty much just lost interest in us. And then we got all the corrupt mayors along the way. And then...
Sadly, our mayors decided to bankrupt our city repeatedly. Didn't matter if they were black, white, or sky blue, pink along the way. They all did a terrible job. And unfortunately, I'd like to say that there has been one that's come to save the people, or at least help the people, but they haven't. They're all for their own self-interest, just like any other government official.
So while the city of Flint was rioting over what was going on, the very public figures in place supposed to be helping them were looting.
Why not?
Yep.
They found an opportunity. No one was paying attention. Bad things were happening. So why not take what little bit of money the city had? So the state steps in because they're going to do such a better job. But unfortunately, they don't. They don't do anything that's helped any of the people. They haven't brought jobs there. When Krispy Kreme came there, 3,000 people applied for one job at Krispy Kreme. Does that tell you how much people are trying to work?
Right. You have to take buses outside of the city to get jobs at other places that might pay $8 an hour if they're lucky.
If they're lucky.
Maybe 9, yeah.
They
But
have
the
to,
bus trip costs them, what, $3 there, $3 back?
I think it's even more than that now. So they have to pay just to get to a minimum wage job. And they have to leave their families and go to other cities to serve the rich, to make no money, to go back home and be right back where they started from.
Mm-hmm.
They live in houses that are often condemned, that may or may not have water and electricity, but they do the best that they can.
Right. It wasn't just the blue collar that suffered in the collapse of the middle, class, but the white collar workers too that left out of Grand Blanc, that stuck around when Cadillac was there. Then once Cadillac closed, they're all gone. They're what Warwick Hills, the golf course, the golf thing that they had every year. So even Grand Blanc is slowly decaying. Mount Morris is becoming like flat. It's just all spreading out as everyone leaves, and the only people left are the ones that are either retired or can't get out.
Basically, it's become a city of the elderly and those that have turned to crime.
Right.
Because if they don't, there is no other job. What job is it that they think they're supposed to get? They act like it's so easy to say, just go get a job. Well, where are these imaginary jobs that they're supposed to go and get? Where are we supposed to go and find these magical income makers? Because they don't exist.
Right. U of M Flint isn't going to help it thrive. The Genesis Hospital isn't going to help Flint thrive. Unless they bring in more medical into Flint. Forget automotive, unless it's
yeah, I have a theory
smart
about
cars
that too.
or something. Maybe the Google smart cars.
They want the medical industry to build up there. So what do? They keep the people sick. They don't find cures for anything. There hasn't been a cure since polio. They simply find ways to maintain, and they find ways to make people sick so they can treat them, so they can make money. How is that for a system?
Right.
They've toxified the water, the air, the food, everything, because it takes water to make food, and if you poison the water, you poison the food, and then they want you to give that to your children. So
right.
It's basically mass genocide.
You can't even bring in fresh produce. Very hard to find unless you go to the farmer's market.
There are no grocery stores, especially on my side of Flint in the north end. They have closed every store that there is. If you can drive, which not everyone has a car, if you're able to drive, you may be able to find what I like to refer to as a liquor lotto store, because that's what their sign emphasizes, that they have liquor and lotto.
Right, the closest Myers are like Hill Road.
They're miles and miles away, and the majority of people that live in an impoverished neighborhood do not have cars of their own. And trust me, there's no Uber in Flint.
Right, unless you can, bus somewhere, but
the bus system
it doesn't go that far, I don't believe, out to Hill Road.
It may go there, but it's a system that is built on maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't show up. Maybe you'll wait hours in the snow and they'll never show up. Maybe they will. So it's kind of a hit or miss type of thing.
I don't think it's that bad.
It is. And then you always have to worry because for a while people were shooting at the buses.
Okay, so you have nothing else to do. Gotta have fun somehow, right?
Sure, why not?
Take out the bus drivers.
They didn't shoot the bus drivers, they shot the bus.
Oh, well, if they take out the drivers, they create more jobs.
There you go.
Then they can get somebody else in.
Is that really what you believe?
No.
That all the people are there to just kill each other?
Oh, no. People are just trying to live. The only people killing each other are the ones that are caught up in their own mess. Especially when it comes to, like, territories and stuff.
Sadly, we can't trust the police.
No,
so
they won't.
What you have to do is, when you have a problem on the street, you settle it on the street. You don't call 911. It's not that kind of a situation. So
unless you're an innocent bystander, then you're pretty much screwed because it's going to take 20 minutes or more for someone to get out there.
Yeah, if they show up at all. They may just tell you to make a report over the phone.
Because they skirt most of the neighborhoods. They have the helicopter that flies over them most of the time, but that's about it.
They're happy to process you for a crime. They're not so happy to help you when you need help.
Right.
So, but they're more than happy to arrest you. They're great
They'll
at
put
that.
the cops' lives on, in jeopardy just to, go arrest somebody, but they won't put their lives on the line to help somebody.
Absolutely not. Because why help them? They'd rather let them die in the street.
Maybe they get bonuses for all their arrests and they lose pay or something. They do get demerits if they help someone. Damn it, Smith. You wasted valuable time helping that lady. God damn it, that could have been time spent arresting a criminal. Well, the only things left in Flint are churches, liquor lotto stores, and porn stores and men's clubs. That's about
Well,
left.
liquor lottery stores are important because everyone's trying to win the lottery to get out, and then when they can't win, they drink to forget the fact that they can't get out.
And the cash and go.
So substance abuse is a major issue, but again, we create the problem and then punish them for it. Because it may be the one escapism a person has is to just let go for a little bit and go to that happy place when everything is hell and everything is bad and there isn't any other hope that you're seeing. It's really easy to drink the wrong thing or shoot the wrong thing or snort the wrong thing just to escape for a few minutes. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that it is a reality and there is a reason for it. And if people were to look at the reasons for some of these things and not simply just the problem, they might start to see a little bit differently.
Right. I'm going to stop here for a minute.